Yeah.
Welcome back to Mic'd Up and Misinformed with your hosts Lunch Money and Mad Dog. This week we're going to be giving out our picks for UFC Fight Night Burns versus Malott this Saturday, April 18th. You ready to get into this card, Mad Dog?
Let's go, dude. You ready?
Yeah, man. There's not uh, a lot of action I'm liking in the early prelims, but as we
Yeah.
get deeper into the card, there's a couple plays that I like. So,
It improves a little bit.
all right, dude, we'll get right into it. First up, we have a bantamweight bout. We have Jamie Siraj versus John Giannis. Who do you like in this one?
Dude, I think I'm gonna take Jamie for the sub, man. I mean, Johnny's more of a boxer and better on his feet, but I typically am gonna lean towards the grappler and the submission artist, even if it's just to win by control time or lay and pray. So I'm taking Jamie on this one. But Jamie did take this fight, I think, short notice.
Let's see. Let's see what John's done in the UFC. So his only UFC fight, he got subbed by Bashi in the first round. So, and you like the other you like Siraj to get a sub here.
Yeah, I like Saraje to get the
Yeah,
sub here.
Giannis. I mean, just got subbed in his first UFC fight in the first round. So if Siraj is good at jiu-jitsu, then I could definitely
Yeah,
I, I'll ride with you on that one.
love it.
Next up, we got this is gonna be an interesting name to pronounce. We have Mark Vologden versus John Castaneda. I don't know much about Vologden, but I know John Castaneda has been in the UFC for a little while. He's been a little underwhelming, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll ever be a contender, but
Yeah.
he's pretty nice with the boxing, in my opinion.
He is good on his feet, so that there is some promise there. But I think he's 2-3 in his last five fights. And Mark Volgadin, he's definitely a more well-rounded fighter. He can KO you. He can stay standing, but he's also really good on the ground. So same thing. I'm gonna take Mark dude because I just think he's got a few different options, whether he wants to stay standing or take it to the ground. Where I think John's mostly just gonna be stay standing.
Yeah, I agree with you here. So I'm looking at Vologden's record, and his only UFC fight was in the Contender Series, and he lost in a unanimous decision. But he must have put on a show to still get signed.
Yeah.
Before that, he was getting finishes left and right. I mean, in his four fights previously, he had two submissions and two knockouts. So he must be a pretty entertaining fighter. And I'm gonna side with Mark as well, just because I feel like John Castaneda might not be in the UFC much longer. He just,
Yeah.
his skill level hasn't really improved, and to have that record he has in his last five fights, I think that he's definitely on thin ice here.
Yeah. And so you can get Mark Volgadin at plus 105. So I like him at
And he's the
that.
underdog.
Yeah,
That might be the underdog play of the card, bro.
yeah, I like that play a lot.
Yeah, me too. Next up, we have JJ Aldridge versus Jamie Lynn Horth. What are you thinking about this women's matchup?
Dude, this is it's interesting because JJ's good on both sides, right? She can stand and she can wrestle and grapple a little bit, but I feel like she is a low level contender. Like I feel like she never grows. She doesn't get any stronger. She just kind of comes out with the same unorthodox game plan. And I think you're gonna see Jamie come out here and get a KO, and it's crazy to say that
You
because a
got
lot
Jamie
of
for a
people,
finish here?
yeah, I'm taking Jamie on the KO, bro.
What's interesting to me is I thought Aldridge was more of a UFC vet. She's 33. Worth is 36 years old. She's a little bit
Yeah.
older than I thought. I'm on Jamie's side too, man. I feel like she's only lost to the higher echelon of the division. JJ has, I just feel like she's been pretty underwhelming as well, and
Yeah,
she
she
might
just kind of
not be the
stalled
UFC
out.
much.
She just kind of stalled out.
Yeah, 100%. What's the odds on this one?
I'm trying to pull it up, dude. I'm switching.
If it's remotely close, I'll take Jamie. If she's too big of a favorite, I'll probably just pass.
Minus 147. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, and the crowd's gonna be on her side, which means that if it leans to a decision, she might get the nod because the fights are in Canada and she is a
Yeah.
Canadian fighter, so she'll definitely get the crowd cheering her on throughout the fight.
And the under is at plus 375 for under 2.5. So I like
Ooh.
that plus money there too. Because
Especially if
I
you
think,
like her to find a finish, that's pretty
yeah,
good
exactly.
payout right there. Next up, we have I remember this fighter because whenever you picked her, she's won. Melissa Croden versus Daria. Oh my goodness.
Good luck, bro.
Stella Zakova. Zelzakova.
Zelzakova. There's an N in there though, bro. Zelznikova. Sorry. Sorry.
Zelznikova. Yeah, that might be it. I don't know. Here, I know that Croden is 35 years old. Daria is only 30 years old.
Yeah.
The reach advantage is about the same, and they're both 5'9". So you know, physicality, they're pretty similar. It looks like in their build.
Yeah, so this should be an interesting fight, dude, for sure. I do. I think that both of these girls will stay standing more, and this will definitely be more of a boxing match. But I'm taking Crodine, dude. I'm taking Melissa here, man, and she might even get another KO, which again is crazy because normally all the girls' cards, go the distance.
That's your girl, bro. Whenever you pick her, she wins. So
Minus 145.
okay, I'm
She's
gonna say
great.
that I'm gonna say that if I had to take a play here, I would take that this fight goes to a decision, but that's probably a pretty heavy favorite.
Minus 240, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'd probably slap that on a parlay.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So, and no disrespect to women, but typically in women's MMA, it
It
goes
goes.
to decisions a lot more often than not. I mean, it's
Oh,
actually pretty surprising when you find a woman getting a finish.
yeah, but I
And the
do
ones
like.
that do get finishes are the ones that are some of the all-time greats, like
Yeah,
Amanda Nunes, Ronda Rousey, and
yeah,
so forth.
Rousey. Now that boxing match is only about a month out, dude.
For the
Rousey,
Rousey match,
yeah,
yeah, dude, I think Rousey's gonna win that one. Feel like she'll probably be a big favorite too. She kind of looks like she's on the juice, to be honest with you.
that's what. See, that's what I told someone today, dude, at the gym, because he asked and said, "Oh, what do you think?" And I said, "Oh, I think Rousey's the better boxer in general, but she's not gonna be able to do any judo throws or do anything else, you know." So, and once the gloves get put on, it's always a little different. But I do like Rousey. She does look juiced out, dude, a little bit. And then I saw a thing with her, and she's like, "Oh shit, I just smoked a greenie with Nate Diaz." What was it again? And she's all laughing. I mean, yeah, she looked baked. It was hilarious.
My opinion too about that is, if to be in her shoes right now, I feel like she's not going to take any type of fight that she feels like is not completely winnable as well. She's not going to like put her legacy on the line unless, she feels confident that she's going to get a win.
Yeah,
Unless she comes
I'm
back to the
sure she's
UFC
a
and
great.
fights Amanda again, or she fights Kayla Harrison, like that'd be really interesting. I think Kayla would probably ragdoll her, but at this point of her career,
Yeah, exactly.
Rousey's in her
I
prime,
don't
it
know.
might be a different story. But
I don't think Rousey will be back to MMA. I don't. I can't see that happening.
dude, and then seeing Felipe Lins versus Nagano is crazy, dude. Like Lins naturally is like closer to a light heavyweight, so
Yeah.
that size difference is pretty massive.
Now I didn't look. Is there a lot of good other names on that card?
Just the Nate Diaz and Mike Perry.
Yeah,
Those are the three main fights. And in that one,
that's gonna be a
I feel like
boxing.
it's gonna go to a decision, bro. I think
Yeah,
Nate by decision.
yeah.
Mike Perry's entertaining, but he
But
fights
he
a little
does bare
wild. I
knuckle
think Nate's more
boxing.
do what?
He does the bare knuckle boxing. I feel like it'd be so hard to knock him out with the pads on, like with
Yeah.
actual gloves.
And no offense to Nate, but he doesn't have a lot of power either.
Yeah,
But I definitely think
100%.
he's always had a better gas tank and will have a lot more output than Perry.
But that fight's gonna be entertaining, dude. You're gonna be laughing at moments in that fight, bro.
Yeah. They'll be yeah. They're both characters, I'll say that. Next up on the UFC card, we have Gokhan Sircom versus Tanner Bosser. I don't know much about Gokhan. I know Bosser's been in the UFC for quite some time. He's been pretty mediocre to be honest, and he's always kind of
Yeah.
been in betweener with weight classes. This one
So
will be a heavyweight, I believe.
yeah, and I think Gotham had a bunch of knockouts, and he's the favorite at minus 150. Again, this is kind of one of those weird things where it's like the veteran versus the new guy coming in, and sometimes these guys get that stage fright and they don't perform as they normally would. So I kind of feel like just stay away from this one because either guy's got the ability to get a KO here. And like you said, Tanner kind of just stalled out, dude, and he never really went anywhere.
Yeah, Tanner's usually been at more so, I think his body frame is more of a light heavyweight at 205, and Gakhan is a natural heavyweight. This is Gakhan's first UFC fight. He's fought all his previous fights in Bellator. Here's something that's interesting. His last fight was in 2023, so he has not been active,
Ooh,
so I
dang,
think
two,
inactivity can
3 years
play a big
off.
factor. He's 35 years old, so in my opinion, they're just trying to get some new faces in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
This might play out closer than what people think, but I'm gonna take the decision here.
All right, I like it, dude. The over 2.5 is minus 155.
Okay, yeah, I think that because I could see it going to a split decision.
Yeah.
Bosser, in my opinion, doesn't have a lot of knockout power, and Gakhan has had plenty of decisions through Bellator.
It just, yeah. And then plus the 3 years off. It's just too scary. I would say stay away. But the over is probably a good bet. I like that.
I think that's why I like the over too, because Bosser hasn't been real active the last few years in the UFC either. So they
Yeah.
both might fight a little bit timid and more defensive until they find that flow state. And by the time they find that flow state, it might
That's
be
it.
later into the second, and then you're cruising in the third to a decision. So
Exactly. It's over at that point.
I'll probably take the over on a parlay. Next up, dude, I don't know. I know I've seen Robert Valentin fight a little bit, but I have not seen Julian LeBlanc. I'm gonna look up his record right now.
Yeah, look it
You
up.
got the odds on this one?
I wrote new, so I think Julian's new. I think this is his first UFC. And Valentine's
He's
lost
from
all three of
his
his
last
fights.
fight was in Samurai MMA. I've never heard of that league before.
Yeah, see? So Julian was new, and then Robert Valentin, he lost all three of his fights in the UFC. So this is a stay away. I mean, if you wanted to lay money on the new guy and go with the underdog at plus 125 for a crazy degenerate bet, but this is a fight you just stay away from.
Bro, this fight's giving uh which one of you want to keep the job in the UFC? Like they're pretty much saying, "Hey
Yeah.
LeBlanc, do you want Valentin's spot? Because if he doesn't win, he's out of here."
Yeah. Whoever wins
Like
this
one
wins.
guy will be still signed and one guy will be released after this.
I just feel like Valentin's already lost all three, so unless he wins in a crazy fashion, he's off the list. He
And
probably
we
got a
talk
three
about
fight.
momentum and confidence pretty often. Bro, if you've lost three in a row, like your confidence has got to be pretty low. I
Yeah,
mean, you're, they would never admit it, but they're probably feeling like, Robert's feeling like he's expecting to lose at this point because three in a row is big time for, especially in the fight game.
for
Let me
sure,
see how
dude.
he's lost too. And the other guy has had three finishes in his wins. And I know he's from a pretty weak league. I've never heard of it, but I still think I would rather be on that side than a guy that's in his last three got knocked out twice too.
Yeah, so dog or pass.
Yeah. Who is the dog in this one?
Julian at plus 135,
But
125.
yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking
Yeah,
that.
yeah, plus 125. There's no
Yeah, that's
value in Valentine to be hard to bet on him on a losing streak. They have the under 2.5 at minus 165, and again, I don't know. I stay away from this one, dude. It scares me all the way.
yeah, I wouldn't play an over under. I'd just take LeBlanc for the value for sure. Next up in the featherweight division, we have Dennis Bazucha versus Marcio Barbosa. Who do you like in this one, man? I'm not too familiar with either one of these guys.
Dude, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about either of these guys. But Mauricio had 14 KOs out of his 17 wins. Then Buzuki did fight a couple of good people. Yeah,
He's
so I mean,
lost to Sean Woodson, Jamal Emmers. He beat
that's right.
Matthews, and then he lost to Marshall. So he
So he
in his
loses to people that like to stand up and box, and this guy's knocked out 14 people.
yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, Barbosa was at minus 510 for a reason.
He's minus 510.
Minus 510. He's the biggest favorite of this
Yeah,
fight.
he's just coming off a knockout win on Dana White's Contender Series. Dude, Barbosa to the bank in this one, bro. I'm gonna take that on the parlay for sure.
Yeah, that's a
I
parlay piece for sure. I think that's probably best to take him for the KO. That's what he's known for. So
You know he's gonna come out hungry too. He's not making a lot of money, you would assume, and he needs that finish bonus. And
yeah,
with him just coming off the contender series to get $100,000 for performance of the night would be a pretty sweet
for
addition to
sure.
his
Yeah,
finances.
14 KOs over 19 fights total. That's impressive.
Yeah, and that guy's got momentum. I'm taking Marcio all day, dude.
Yeah.
I would probably take him up to minus 600, to be honest.
I was surprised it wasn't more after I looked at some of his stats.
Yeah.
And
Next
sometimes
up,
they
we
become
have
crazy.
Thiago Moises. He's been in the UFC for a long time versus Gage Young. What's the odds on this one?
Gage Young's at minus 145, and then Tiago's at plus 125. But
So
Tiago's
Young's
just
obviously the younger one. He's only 25 years old, and
yeah,
Thiago Moises has been in the UFC forever, bro.
yep. And I think Tiago's just fading out, dude. So this is kind of a give me match, give this guy some name recognition, try to start pushing him up the ranks. So I look for Gage Young here, especially at the 145. I love the odds there.
Like Gage Young, I think Moises is dangerous for him, but because Gage, he lost in his, he just doesn't have any convincing wins to me. Like he's had, let me see, I think three UFC fights. He's lost two of them, and then he's beat Mashati. I have a hard time pronouncing his name, but I don't trust it. I don't trust him in this matchup, bro. I'm gonna stay away.
All right, I don't mind.
Next up, we have Karine Silva versus Jasmine Jusdivicius. I don't know what the odds are, but I'm definitely taking Jasmine here.
Oh, you have to, dude. Jasmine's definitely the better competitor here. Minus 310. So that's the second leg of the parlay right there.
Yeah, bro, she's a real contender in my opinion. I know she's pretty young. Let's see how old she is. Oh my God, she's 37 years old.
See, I feel like she's older, bro. Yeah.
I feel like she was in her early 30s. Holy moly. I'm still gonna take I feel so dumb for I must have been thinking about another fighter, but I do like Jasmine Judavicius. I feel like she's a higher caliber fighter and should be fighting higher in the rankings for sure.
Yeah. Now, Karina does have some jiu-jitsu and subbing ability, so I would say she is live, but definitely Jasmine, especially at minus 310. I think the value's still on her.
And she's gonna be the hometown favorite. She's a Canadian herself, so the crowd will definitely be behind her in this matchup. All right, next up we have Jai Herbert versus Mondel Nalo.
All right, it's
Um,
getting a little better. It's getting a little better.
yeah, this one will be entertaining. Nalo just came off of the contender series with a knockout in the first round, so I
Yeah.
feel like this guy's going to come out pretty dangerous here. He's a
Yeah.
guy that really wins by finish. In his last five fights, only one has been on the contender series. Everything else has been outside the UFC. But last five fights, two subs and three knockouts, dude. This guy is not to be messed with in the ring.
Right? You like him?
I love him in this matchup. Jai Herbert is dangerous. He's the UFC veteran. Has been in for a long time. He actually had Ilia Topuria wobbled when Topuria was up and coming, and Topuria had regained his consciousness and ended up getting Herbert out of there. But I like Mandel Nalo in this one a lot. What's the odds here?
Yeah, I like Nalo minus 172. I really love the under here, under 2.5 at minus 155. I think that's the value, dude. Because I think either one of these guys could get a KO.
Yeah, I like Nalo a lot, bro. That's one of my. I promise that'll be on my parlay.
Yeah, Nalo minus 172. That's a great piece.
Let's get it. Next, all right. So now, finally, dude, I know a lot about these next two matchups. So we got for the co-main event, Kyler Phillips versus Charles Jourdain. Um, this is a great bantamweight matchup, dude. Both guys like to keep it on the feet. Kyler Phillips is super explosive. I feel like he has a gas tank issue. He kind of
Yeah,
gasses out after the first round and a half to two rounds. Jourdain does have the gas tank, but he doesn't have a lot of power in his hands. He's primarily a kicker, and I don't know how he's going to fare versus Kyler in this matchup. I feel like Kyler is so much more diverse, and the only way Charles wins is if he he gets out of that first round and then takes over in the second and third for a decision win. But I'm
Yeah.
taking Kyler here, bro. I think he could get a decision win or knock out Charles.
Oh shit, this guy, he's crazy. I'm taking Jourdain here, dude. I think he's an outperform your boy. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think you just
And
said it. Charles, he
Tyler
survives
fights
that
out of
first
Arizona
round.
too, bro.
He don't even have to. He don't even have to knock him out. He just got to outbox him and outkick him. I
So
think he just.
you're taking Jordan in this matchup?
I'm taking Jourdain, dude, because I think his gas tank is better. I think he can outperform him on the feet and on the ground.
Dang, bro. Let me see. Let me see the age difference here.
It's almost a pick 'em. Jourdain's at
Phillips is 30 years old
150.
and Jordan's 30 years old. Okay, so same age. Reach advantage goes to Phillips. He has a 3-inch reach advantage. They're about the same height. Yeah, dude. I feel pretty confident taking Kyler Phillips. I'm trying to decide if I want to. What's the odds on that?
Phillips at plus 117, Jourdain at minus 138. So
So it's
basically,
going to be a close fight.
it's gonna be a close fight. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
goes to the decision either way.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, I think if anybody gets the finish, Kyler gets it. But yeah, it's I feel like it's a high probability that it'll go to a decision.
yeah, it's over 2.5 minus 190.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the first one that we're really split on. Yeah, I'm standing on the Kyler side for sure, dude. I feel like he's underperformed in the UFC too, man. Like I feel like Kyler should be
Yeah,
like top 8, but for whatever reason, like I don't know if he just doesn't take the game serious because he's so talented, dude. Like I've seen like glimpses of greatness from him, but he seems like he's kind of underwhelmed the fan base a little bit.
yeah, exactly, dude. He just doesn't. He doesn't always fight the same. Sometimes he comes out more energetic and is looks better, looks healthier. Other times he comes out and just looks like he's almost just showing up for work.
And with Jordan, I feel like he's only improved as has gone on in the sport with the UFC.
I think he's
Kyler, I
good
feel like he has all
overall.
the talent in the world, and Charles, I don't feel like is as talented, but he's gotten better and better throughout each of his fights.
No, I
I
think
think
he's
he
a
hasn't hit his
well-rounded
ceiling
guy.
yet. Still,
Yeah, he's growing, so I think he's got room for improvement. Now I don't know if he's necessarily belt contender aspect, but I could see him being ranked in the top 10 for a while.
yeah. And they fight bantamweight, dude. Just imagine if they had to see Marab or Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yeah,
Those wrestlers would be absolute nightmares for these guys.
he'd be done so fast.
All right, dude. Now we got the main event of the evening. Um, we have Mike Malott versus Gilbert Burns. Man, it's kind of sad because Mike Malott is still like up and coming, and he hasn't peaked yet or hit his ceiling. And Gilbert Burns is way past his prime at this point. In my opinion, he's more of a prize fighter. Just trying to get a couple more big checks before retiring. If Gilbert Burns was in his prime, this would be such a banger matchup, and it would play out a lot closer than I think it will now.
Yeah, 100%. I think Burns lost the last 4 fights in a row. I mean, Gilbert Burns has been on a mass decline. He's just like you said, he's just collecting checks. They're using this to give Mike Malott, some name recognition. Start seeing that he's fighting guys that you recognize and say he's moving up the ranks. This is a layup for Mike here, man.
And you know what stinks? Gilbert has fought the best of the best, bro. Like in
He's fought everybody.
his last 4 fights that were all losses, Bilal Muhammad had the belt. Jack Della Maddalena had the belt.
Yeah.
Sean Brady, title contender, like he's
He's a
right
bright
right
guy.
outside the contenders right now. And then Morales is, might be
Moving
fighting
up.
for the belt
Yeah.
pretty soon. So
Yeah.
Burns has only fought dogs, dude. And then Mallet, let's see. I know let me see who his best win has been over. Yeah, his resume isn't near as nice. He's beaten Kevin Holland and Charles Radke in his last 2 fights, but the youth is on his side. He's 34 years old. He's 5 years younger than Burns.
Yeah,
And
he looks
like I
good.
said, I still feel like he doesn't have near as many UFC fight miles on the tank as
Yeah.
Gilbert. Gilbert's um, he's been super durable throughout his career, but he has so much more miles on the tank.
Oh, they double. Gilbert's hitting at 31 fights, and Mallett's got what 16. I mean, that's crazy.
And if it's standing, I feel like it's pretty close. I'd probably edge Malott, but on the ground, it could get pretty interesting because
It could
um,
get nasty on the ground.
Gilbert's only way of winning this fight, in my opinion, is pulling off a submission. He's excellent at jiu-jitsu, but Mike Malott is terrific at wrestling. So
Yeah,
the way that I'm seeing this matchup over 5 rounds is Malott winning on control time because as Gilbert's trying to pull off submissions, that tells me he'll probably be on his back for the most part of the fight if it does go to the ground. And Malott will just be on top gaining control time. And then if it's
yeah.
standing, it might play out a little closer.
I think this is only a 3 round fight today this time.
Really? That I need to
Yeah,
look that up because usually main events are 5 rounds. So maybe if they agreed to 3 rounds, maybe that might be it.
which tells me someone's conditioning is not great.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
good.
that'll be a big difference if it's only a 3 rounder. But I'm gonna take Mallet in a decision win here, man.
Yeah, so Mallet at minus 290. So same. You could put him on as the third leg as the parlay, or you
It's
can
an
use
easy
that
hedge.
as an easy hedge. Yeah, take Gilbert at plus 240 for the hedge. So now that it's Thursday, we actually do have it. So Gilbert Burns by decision. They have it at plus 1,000. You want it? No, no, sorry. You want it, Mike? I'm like, what?
That's still a crazy payout for Gilbert Burns
So it was even Mike Mallet plus 550 for
for a
decision.
decision.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
I'm playing that all day.
That's nuts. Dude. I'm gonna put. Let's do a half unit on that. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I respect Burns too much to get finished.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know if Mallet's got that much props, but
Dude, I still feel so dumb. I hate when I say something that is like way off. Like Jasmine, I said that she is a younger fighter at 37.
she does look younger, though. I'll give you that. She does
And
look
we
younger.
always make mistakes, but I feel so
Oh yeah.
dumb saying that. That takes all my credibility for
Well, like you
knowing
said, they
how
have been five
UFC.
rounds though. They've been 5 rounds for a long time, but so they some that tells me someone's conditioning is not great. Honestly, if one of them said, I only want to do 3 rounds, which I think would probably be Burns or his camp, and the Mallet's like, all right, I'll just take it,
So that
whatever.
makes the decision even crazier that the plus 500 over 3 rounds. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
even over 5 rounds, I'd still take Mallet decision. That's
They
crazy.
have the under over 2.5 at basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, that's nuts, bro. Hey, I got some good plays for this card. I think there's some good money spots here.
All right, so dude, now one of the fights got canceled, which was part of my martingale. So I'm not going to say what it is, and I'm going to wait and I'll post it on the Instagram. So
Okay, no problem.
you guys better go look, go follow
You
us on
can just
Instagram.
create a couple
It
plays
was
just so we got.
the Alan Nascimento versus Mitch Raposo. That fight got pulled. I don't know why it got pulled. I didn't look, but I just saw they pulled it.
Hmm.
All right, so my like Sherlock parlay, I'm doing this, dude. I'm taking Jasmine and Barbosa, and then minus 172.
Okay.
So one unit pays a little more than half.
Okay.
All right,
That's not.
what are you doing? And then, like I said, I'll post my martingale on the other thing. I have to find. I just have to figure out which one I want to do for the other one leg. Because I had Alan, I got Jamie Lynn, and Melissa.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know what you end up doing for the last leg on
Yeah,
that.
they pulled Alan, so I got to figure out one. I got to do another one.
All right, so I'm taking Marcio Barbosa for leg one,
Yep.
Nalo for leg two, and Mallet for leg three. I'm gonna assume that's like plus 130.
What was the second one you said?
Mandel Nalo going against Herbert.
Let's see. Dude, it's weird, but I don't know here. I'm not looking far enough down. I'm sorry. All right. Nalo. Who was the third one now? Mallet?
Nalo, Barbosa, and Mallet.
Yep. All right. I like it, dude. That seems like a good one. Oh, plus 154.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I got
Done.
it. I got a crazy one, dude. That's gonna
One
pay
unit.
bets, bro.
All right. Let's go nuts. Here you go. Who do you like?
All right. So um we're gonna take LeBlanc
Okay.
We're gonna take um Barbosa,
Yep.
Mandel, Nalo.
Yep. No.
Um, sorry, bro, but Kyler Phillips,
Oh, yeah. Dang this guy.
and then Mike Malott by decision.
All right. Bye. Oh, this is gonna be
That's
crazy. This
gonna
is
be like
getting
plus
nuts.
2,500.
Plus 5903. So basically plus 6,000. Crazy, this guy. All right, let's do it for a quarter unit. So we're up 4 units. So let's do it for a quarter unit.
Bro, maybe like a tenth of a unit, because that's a crazy one.
It's crazy. We're up, so let's do it, dude. I'm doing it.
All right, yeah, let's do it. I'm scared about you. If you want, you can. I hate doing plays with you that like we don't agree on. So if you want, we could change. We
I
could
already
change
sent it,
Tyler
bro.
Phillips. You put in.
I already sent it. It's in.
All right, bet.
No backsies now, bro.
All right,
No, I think that's good, dude. I think we got a good one just going.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, this card's not that juicy at all. By no means, it's not crazy, but I think there is some value here at least. I think even last week's card, there was some good value. We did well, dude. So I can't
Yeah,
complain.
dude. Honestly, for a personal play, like I'm gonna put those two parlays in for sure. But I'm thinking about putting a unit on Mike Malott by decision. If that's plus 500, I think there's a ton of value there, bro. Because
Dude, yeah, that's
Burns
crazy.
is hard to finish, and Burns has only fought the best of the best.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I can see them both of them kind of getting, not feeling each other on the feet, and then Mallet wrestling and Burns trying to submit and just back and forth nonstop.
I could see Burns getting like opportunities to win this fight here, but Malott to win a close one. I'm
Yeah.
thinking unanimous or split decision win for Malott, but I'm not seeing a finish.
No, those odds at plus 550 are juicy.
Yeah, yeah, those are nice, bro. I got a single bet that one.
All right.
But
Well, I think that was good, dude. We got some stuff in.
sweet. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some better cards in the next couple weeks. That last one was pretty nice, bro. That just to recap on that Jerry Oldberg fight, I'm sure
Isn't that
anybody
crazy?
that's watched the UFC saw that Jerry really choked that title shot up, especially having the president there, being in Miami. That was the easiest title fight win of his life, and he threw it away.
He said mercy, dude. He felt mercy and couldn't do it.
Bro, and I know that's like controversial, but dude, he really did show mercy in there. Like I saw him multiple times putting his hands up, pulling down at his leg. Like if
He
that would have
did.
went to the
That's
end of the,
true.
if the bell would have rang, they probably would have called the fight off. I mean, Ober
They
couldn't
would
even
have.
walk on that
Yeah.
knee,
You saw
and
him shoot. He tried to throw like a stiff right hand and freaking basically fell on his back.
yeah, I didn't get it. I'm like, Jerry, keep kicking that. I would just
Yeah,
keep
I
throwing
just should be
legs and just
kicking
throwing
that.
kicks the rest of the fight. But
Yep. Just
I
be
don't know,
done.
man. That was a big lesson he learned. And then I will say too, bro. I know. I said on the podcast and I put it on all my plays, but Josh Hokett, did he really walk the walk, man?
Dude,
He
he
backed up all
scared
that
me,
trash
bro.
talk and
I
he put
thought he
on a
was
great
about to get
performance.
knocked out a couple of times. He was getting lit up back and forth.
Yeah, that was a scary fight, bro. Like for how confident I was in picking
Yeah.
him, I was sweating watching that fight,
Well,
bro.
he's crazy. He's not fighting intelligently at all. He's out there just kind of just brawling, bro.
Yeah. For me, now that Derek Lewis fight got announced, I'm thinking, man, he's got to be careful with Lewis because
Oh,
Hokett is really undersized for a heavyweight. Like he's
yeah.
naturally a middleweight or a light heavyweight at max, but he knows how weak the heavyweight division is, and he has the wrestling factor, which a lot of heavyweights don't have. So, what's scary for the Lewis fight is he needs to take Derek down immediately, and then he might
Yeah.
find a finish pretty fast. But if he doesn't take Derek down, Derek will light him up like a Christmas tree, bro. Because for how many shots Blades got off on Hokett, if you
There's
let
no
Derek
way
Lewis
he
throw
would
that
take
many
him
shots,
back. Yeah.
his lights would have been put out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Lewis by KO. I don't care what the odds are.
Yeah, that's
I'm
definitely worth the
seeing that,
sprinkle.
dude. It was just too chaotic, man. But on our massive parlay, our 5 layer, Osmont was the only one that buffed it up, dude. and we had
Oh, that was so frustrating, bro. Like,
right.
I think I got to look at the text messages, but I think I texted you that day, and I was like, bro, I just feel weird about that
You
Azmat
did.
fight.
Now that you say that, you did. You did say that, dude. Yeah, I
I
mean,
when I went to put my plays in the div, I was like, man, I'm just feeling a little off about it, because I
yeah,
was
you
thinking,
did.
I'm like, bro, and again, I could have been way wrong because we picked Azmat on the podcast, but I like Saturday morning, I woke up and I'm like, dang, bro, like
Something, right?
Paulo's only fought the best fighters. He's fighting champions, and the only fight he's really looked bad in was that Adesanya title fight. And he said he was messed up on wine the night before, and now I believe him, bro.
Exactly. Exactly. So what I'm going to say is we had six, in a sense, different plays, and every play was under two, minus 200. So we had Tatiana at minus 160, Reyes minus 140, Hokit at plus 117. Asma was the one that messed us up at the biggest 198. Olberg at minus 190, and then we had the Kevin Holland, Randy Brown over 2.5 at minus 150.
Bro, that would have paid out crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. So literally, we both of our plays lost because of Ozma, and otherwise, even if you took every one of our bets individually, you would have stacked it up.
100%. I think we put a straight bet on Hokit too as a slight dog, so that
We
made
did,
up a little bit.
yeah, we did, we did 2 units at Hokit at plus 117, so that helped.
Yeah, that got us back. And when we do those parlays, typically we're only putting like a quarter or a half unit. So
Yeah,
um,
we did
losing
Hokit
doesn't
for
suck too
2 units.
bad, but it's frustrating because dude, that would have been a nasty payout, and we were close.
We were so close, dude. Yeah. So I mean that, and even again, even if you just bet all those bets straight up, you've been sitting pretty.
Bro, if this six legger that we put in for this weekend, if Kyler Phillips is the reason we lose that, and I know you picked Jordan, I'm gonna be sick to my stomach, bro.
It happens. What are you gonna do, man? But no, I think. But so the problem is because we're up right now, we're playing kind of recklessly. I wouldn't say recklessly. We're just trying to use their money to profit faster, right? But
Yeah, I mean I think the two parlays that we each gave were,
I went safe.
we
Yeah.
took pretty good favorites, so I think those will cover us this week and give us a little bit of profit if we do end up losing the parlays. So
We still made a quarter unit, yeah, from
the
last week.
wild ones. Yeah. So what I like doing is just like this week, we took a couple heavy favorites in a parlay and then we did a wild one. But it's like last week we took Hoke. A couple weeks before that we took Jillian Robertson. Like there's certain fighters that I'm like, and so do you with the Martingale method. But it's like, man, that's
Yeah.
where I want to put all my juice on. I'd rather go out on my sword feeling really confident about a straight bet than going all in on the parlays every week. Because you
Yeah.
know,
100%.
especially if you can get a pick you like it plus money or relatively close to that, then why not take a swing at the fences with it?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Especially. I mean, you should always be able to find just one or two good plays throughout the week, right? You don't have to be going crazy and doing 10 plays every day and 20 leg parlays. It's just so hard.
Even in this week for me, it might be that Malott by decision. Like knowing that it's plus, dude. Even if you gave me
That's so
plus
crazy.
300 on that, I'm taking. That's probably my most popular play right now, and it's a super risky play because your
Yeah.
risk. It's like really a 1 in 8 chance because you got to fear the decisions on either side, knockouts on either side,
Yeah.
submissions. What's that? A 1 out of 6 chance?
Yeah. Essentially, but I mean, there's
There's
so
six
many other
different ways to
factors.
win.
Doctor stoppage, eye pokes, nut kicks. It's like so many factors have to go into place, dude, to still make it to decision.
Yeah. I'm gonna just hope that he just lays on top of Burns the whole fight and Burns doesn't get a submission off.
He could, because that's what I'm saying. If either one of them are getting picked apart on the feet, they're gonna try to shoot, right? And I don't think Mallett's good enough for jiu-jitsu, so he's just gonna wrestle and pin him down. And then Gilbert's just gonna lay there and accept the check.
Yeah. Dude, if Burns was like 32 years old, this would be such a different fight.
Yeah, this would be crazy. I mean, Burns was wild in his days, dude. I mean, he could, like you said, he could submit practically anybody. He was some of the best grappling.
I feel
But
like his last best fight was probably versus Hamza Chimaev because that was a pretty close decision win for
yeah,
Chimaev. But after that, he declined, unfortunately. But that's, you know what? Father time's a serious thing, especially in the sport of the UFC.
yeah. I mean, these guys are putting on some serious miles. And what we see is like 15 or 25 minutes. we don't see the hours they're putting in days for weeks and months beforehand. You know.
Yeah. Dude, and that UFC White House card, I already have my parlay set out, man. I'm ready to make some easy money.
He's already picked it apart. Look at this guy.
Dude, I
Yeah.
got it ready to go. I can tell you right now, I'm taking Pereira as the last leg. Or sorry, I'm gonna take Pereira. No, that's the co-main. My bad. Pereira. I'm taking Tapuria, and I'm taking Rufy over Chandler. That's my three-legger.
Yeah, this guy. Let me see if I can pull up the card real quick.
But
UFC
Tapuria's like a
three.
minus 800 right now, bro. It's actually crazy.
So Taporia seemed to come back kind of quick too, right? But I mean, obviously for this card, you kind of have to. Yeah, I mean, Topuria against Gaethje, I probably would lean towards Taporia. Gaethje's crazy though.
Yeah, I just think he's just out of his prime too. You know, his win over Patty was awesome, but I think
Yeah,
that really just showed that both fighters are much lower levels below Topuria. It really should be Arman Sarukian versus Topuria, in my opinion.
this fight is so crazy, and now we got the Hogan and Lewis fight that's already posted.
Yeah, some bangers, dude. I love Rufy to knock out Chandler, though, man. I think Rufy's gonna send him to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, I agree with that, dude. I mean, what about O'Malley? Zaha? I
Versus
mean,
Saibi, dude,
yeah,
honestly, in my opinion, I think Zaibi's
I think
a
he's more dangerous.
dangerous underdog because you know that O'Malley's going to be pretty heavily favored, especially come fight night.
Well, that's probably true.
What's the odds right now?
I don't know. I wasn't looking up the odds. I was just looking up the this.
Taibbi's a little bit older, but I feel like he doesn't have as much miles on the tank as his age, and he's a pretty good wrestler. So if he's able to take O'Malley down, then I definitely think he could win that fight in a decision, and that would mess up everybody's parlays because I feel like everybody's gonna have O'Malley in their parlays. So
Yeah.
Zaidi would be the underdog play of the card for me. Because the only ones that are going to play underdogs aside from him, the most popular underdog picks will be Gaethje by knockout, and um, a lot of
These
people are
odds
going
are
to
so
Derek
crazy.
Lewis as well.
All right, these odds are insane, dude. So they have Alex against Gain. That's basically a pick 'em. Bull Nickel at minus 330. Lopez minus 180. Taporia minus 585. And Rufy at minus 550. Sean O'Malley minus 360.
Yeah, I don't agree with those odds. Who's Nickel fighting again?
Bo Nickel, Kyle Doxson. He's
Dawkins. Yeah, that I
Dawkins, yeah,
feel like
Dawkins.
Bo Nickel's the lock.
Yeah,
If he fights intelligently and just immediately takes down Dawkins, that's an easy win.
I think Dawkins. I don't know. It was weird because he kind of like primed out in two fights, and he's just been
He's a
struggling.
good fighter, man. I just feel like he was in the UFC for a while. He took a break and he came back and he fought pretty well. But I feel like Bo Nichols is a serious contender.
Dude is serious.
Nichols loss to De Ritter, I think, was just one of those stepping stones that Nickel needed to be humbled and to train harder in the gym. But I still feel like he's cream of the crop and definitely going to get a
Um,
title shot at some point.
Mason, use his wrestling against Dawkins. Don't stand and blow.
Like DeRitter, he should have just taken DeRitter down immediately,
Yeah,
but he played around too much. I think he learned his lesson.
I think exactly.
So,
All right.
all right, guys, those are our picks for this UFC card. Feel free to tell us, especially that big parlay, that plus 5,900. If that hits, man, I might get me a nice hotel stay this weekend or something.
Yeah, lunch money's going to LA for a concert. Let's go.
Yeah, hopefully the fights go good. If the fights to go bad, I might be at the concert sad, and I don't
I
want
think
to
I
do
come
that.
back out to you in 3 weeks, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're coming back out of Vegas soon?
Yeah, I think we're gonna fly out this time, but we're gonna come the 7th through the 10th for Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, let's go. Sweet,
Yeah.
dude.
I assume you'll be there because it's almost school end, right?
Yeah, I'll be here for sure.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll have to do something. We'll figure it out, dude.
Yeah, 100%. I'll take you to a good comedy show.
No, you're not allowed, bro. All right, guys, be
All
safe.
right,
Be
guys.
safe. Don't do anything crazy. All right.
Yep,
Peace.
mic'd up and misinformed out. Boom.